So friends, as you can see, the subject is that the getting credit for the MSMEs from bank or from a regular segment has been a very problematic area, especially for the business community in India. And but this is all going to change, and this whole problem is known as the credit gap, and we will tell you why. But Kanchan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Chandrakant. And yes, we will be discussing about the credit gap, has become a problem, especially for emerging MSME. And this is a crucial subject. I think our viewers will be happy to go through this whole discussion and take needful action in case if they are interested into this sector.
All right. So before we proceed, a word on our sponsor. The Shopify has kindly agreed to sponsor our live stream. As you know, Shopify is a world leading e-commerce platform, and they actually have a lot of features. They have the ability to convert your simple website into a full blown e-commerce platform. You can actually create products, you can create services, you can sell them online, you can collect payments, you can integrate your website with the payment gateway. You can also create a complete workflow around using the Shopify technology. You can also connect various sales channels so that it is easier for you to basically promote your products and offerings. So Shopify provides all of these features by just clicking on few links. So if you are interested in setting up your own e-commerce presence online, there is a link below in the description. There is a special deal going where you can actually start your e-commerce store for just rupees 20 per month for next 3 months. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Use the link below, which is given in the description, and start your e-commerce store today. All right, let's continue our discussion. Why MSMEs are so important? And MSMEs are important because they are the major movers and shakers of India. Kanchan, you would like to throw some light on this?
Yes, the MSME is an important segment of economy, Indian economy, but they had been facing few challenges, and these challenges requires the support and understanding. And when we are talking about challenges, the challenge is regulation of the government of India, that is one. And second is, since they are small scale industries, so the issue of productivity and the infrastructure which banks look into. At the same time, there are some instances where we actually we as an expert and bank who is planning to give away some loan to these MSME, they also need to know the expertise, the technology, the technical know-how of SMSE. So these all things has become a kind of a subject of discussion, not only among these segments of MSME, but also how bank will be reacting when we go for taking loans for our upliftment of the company.
Well, we are talking about the credit gap in India, and it is affecting mostly the MSME segment, which is, as you know, medium small enterprises, MSMEs. So in India, there is an MSME department to regulate the business for MSMEs. But you will be surprised that there are 63 million small scale industry registered with the registrar of companies in India, and these 63 million companies they contribute to about nearly 50% of the exports from India. Believe it or not, they contribute 30% towards GDP, and they also are the major employment avenues. They provide employment to 40% people in India, employable youths and people in India. And their growth is also tremendous. They are growing by 37%, far faster than any other industry that you may see. So MSMEs are very, very important. However, the financial systems are not fully geared up to support the MSMEs, and we want to tackle that today. For instance, I like to start by giving an example. usually MSMEs require a small amount because their business scale is also small. So let's say if some MSME requires 100,000 rupees for basically investment so that they can procure the raw material and then produce some sellable item and sell it to their customers. So for instance, if there is 100,000 rupees a person invest and he sell that product produce of his factory for 150,000 rupees, so obviously on the paper it looks like that he has made some profit. However, the challenge the MSMEs are facing is that, say for example, in month of July, I spent 100,000 rupees and I've closed a deal for 150,000 rupees, but my payments will come after 60 days because the customer is working on the credit. So what happens in month of August? I have to basically arrange 100,000 rupees from my own pocket. So other way of looking at it is that suppose you start your company, you must start with twice the turnover, but you don't invest the entire turnover into your business generation. So either way you lose out, because first if you invest your entire sum, then you will be left high and dry after spending the money for procuring the raw material. However, if you don't do that, then you will not be able to do any business. So this is where the problem is, because the funding is a big problem. Don't you think, Kanchan, it's a big problem?
Yes, definitely it's a big problem because there's a gap which is being created in the procurement of the invest which is being done by SME and actually the kind of money which is on the table. So that really creates a problem for startup, for SMEs, SME, and that is a crucial thing because that will also add into a problem in economic development of India.
So the challenge here is actually arranging that sum of money for investment for the next month. So you have 100,000 rupees today, but then how do you procure another 100,000 in the month of August so that you can make that 100,000 into 150,000? So literally there is a huge cash flow problem. Now what are the choices? The MSMEs can approach a bank or they can approach a lending agency, and bank has to give loans. However, MSMEs do not find any support from the banking sector simply because they are not favored party for banks to give loan. For instance, when you want to apply for a working capital loan for 100,000 rupees, what are the documents required? The documents required by the bank is, of course, your identity proof, your bank statement, your company registration certificate, your income tax return for 2 years, your audited balance sheet, your P&L statement, your projected turnover, and your business plan. For just procuring your working capital for 100,000 rupees, you need to give some 7 to 9 documents, which is a mandatory requirement by the banks. So we will tell you why the banks ask for it, but before moving forward, Kanchan, do you think this is a real statement, or do you think there is something that I missed out?
No, actually, these are some challenges which is being faced by MSME, and that has become kind of what I will say that delayed in the whole process, delayed in the productivity, because these papers are really essential to get loans for upcoming companies, and that is why that is issue for MSME, bottleneck in their progress.
So the challenge really is that you give all these documents,
Right.
But bank will have to basically process these documents. They have to do validation process, because bank usually look at the risk factor. Banks are more associated with the risk. So let's understand both sides of the picture. MSMEs require small funding, but the requirement for approaching bank, they have to give same number of documents that even a large enterprise has to give, because bank work on the risk associated for any loans, because bank don't want to do that. So from the banking standpoint, they are mostly giving out money based on the risk. So in case of MSMEs, basically this process of approval of small amount, 100,000 rupees, may take from 20 days to 180 days. Now, if it takes longer time, usually it takes longer time, then the whole objective of basically going to the bank for 100,000 rupees is completely lost,
Right.
because he will not get the money. So that is a challenge, because the time taken for bank to fulfill these requests, first of all, very difficult process, and then it takes a lot of time because bank has to do risk assessment.
So actually, what happens then? The whole in this whole process, motivation is also lost, and we have. Suppose if I am a MSME, I am a part of MSME, then I have a lot of ideas, lot of enthusiasm. But when we encounter these kind of challenges and hurdles, the whole spirit of taking up the business and struggle, that really gives bad taste sometimes, and at the same time it becomes it is disheartening that we have to go and do these kind of activities, which is, I think, is not a good effect on the business itself.
Well, these are the mandatory requirements, so we can't change the banking norms or banking laws, because there is a central bank which actually regulates the bank. So we can't change that. Their hands are tied. However, with proper planning, the MSMEs can do it. So only few people will have the patience. As you said that it's sort of a demotivating factor. Obviously, it is demotivating factor, because if it is going to take so much time to get your funding, then you can actually look at other avenues. And usually this is what happens. Even if the bank decide to give loan to MSME, they will actually, based on the risk assessment, they will actually end up charging minimum of 15 to 18% of interest, which is very expensive for a small scale industry. So now you would ask the question that for small amount where the risk should be lower, but for large amount where the risk should be higher, these large enterprises get humongous
Right.
$1 million loans, and they get all facilities of approvals, etc. So the very fact is that the large enterprise fit the risk parameter of the bank, because if you look at the turnover of these large enterprises, the turnovers are into billions of dollars. And if they are asking for money, which is only a certain minuscule percentage of their entire turnover, even though it's a large loan from the banking perspective, so the bank look at it as a low risk item. And even if this loan goes bad, the risk spread on this loan or money given out is less than 1%. Whereas even though the MSMEs are asking for only 100,000 rupees, the risk on that money is huge from the banking
Right.
standpoint.
Right.
So that is a real reason you may hear about certain people have taken money from the banks, and they have kind of run away from the country, etc. Now the government is trying to bring them back. This is exactly the reason that the risk parameter of the banking laws or the banking norms, these large enterprises are more favored. And because of that, MSMEs, even though they are such large group, large chunk of economy for our country, but the banking system has literally failed them. Right? So this is the whole objective, that the banking is not supporting the MSMEs. They are only supporting the large enterprises. But all of this is recognized as a challenge by the Indian government, and they have been working on it to find a solution. And way back in 2021, our beloved Nandan Nilegani proposed a new system which is known as Open Credit Enablement Network, OCEN. That is a proverb of this new technology which has been proposed by Nandan, and this has been implemented. This has been in works for a couple of years now. A lot of testing has happened, and this is being launched in India, which is going to benefit MSMEs a lot. We will tell you about that in a bit, but are you intrigued when you hear about this facility, Kanchan?
Definitely, and I think this is if Nandan has done this, has find out the gap and has come out to help MSME and the banks, and if he has a solution where he can create ease in doing business, why not? I think I would like to hear what is the formula Nandan has given.
All right, so this is looking at both sides of the picture. The MSMEs require easy cash flow, money at low interest rate, and quick processing. And bank don't want to basically spread their risk, because if they have loans given out to risky players, then their balance sheet doesn't look good. So Mr. Nandan and his team has looked at both sides of the equation and provided a solution which is known as OCEN, and this works like this. So there is a entry of a special entity called account aggregator, and if you are in India, you must be hearing brand names like Google Pay, Paytm, etc., and even the payment gateways. So these people, in fact, the Paytm has already started saying that open an account with us. There is another company called Razorpay who started saying that open an account with us, and they have become the account aggregator. So there is a new entrant, new player, a new financial institution, let's put it that way, in between the bank and the customer. So this financial aggregator, the only job is to basically start relationship with the end customer, provide all kinds of services, just like Paytm is providing. In the process of doing that, as per the regulation by the central bank, there are complete validation process of the customer. So if you are an MSME, you will have to already provide your Aadhaar card and your PAN registration, your tax returns, etc., in order to open an account to the account aggregator. Once that has been done, then so this is a one-time process. You're already registered and using the account aggregator services. However, when you need advance, all you need to do is basically request the account aggregator instead of requesting the bank. You will not approach any bank, and account aggregator, as per the banking norms, will do your KYC, and that is quickly done in few seconds, which used to take so many days in the previous system. Now it will be done electronically, instantly, because these documents are already submitted and you are already authorized by the account aggregator. And looking at your requirement, say for example, let's go back to the same example of 100,000 rupees. Looking at that, you actually in the app give what is your need and why you need this money. So there will be a form on your mobile app. You fill that up, and immediately bank will then start populating data. Not bank, the account aggregator will start populating data, giving their partner banks. So the bank has actually become a partner, a lending agency. You are also becoming a partner in this new system, and the main player is the account aggregator, which is companies like Paytm, Razorpay, etc. So these people will then show the banks, and then you will be able to compare which bank is offering loan at what rate, and then you can pick and choose based on various comfort level. You want to go with XYZ bank, or you want to go with another bank, based on your comfort level, based on how quickly they can disperse the amount, and also the rate of interest that they are going to charge. So you can compare the offers instantly. So instead of spending 20 days to 180 days, now within a single day, in fact not even within a single day, within first hour, you can actually get access to easy cash. And if you're an MSME, this is going to change a lot. I mean, the whole environment will change, especially when 50% of the business or 50% of GDP in India comes from the MSME sector.
So actually that is a very good arrangement which is being suggested by Nandan, and I think it's something very near to the policy bazaar which is available for our user to take advantage. Which bank give you more advantage? What is kind of percentage and a bank is charging. So I think that is a good arrangement, and I think this is a win-win situation for both the parties. And there's no, the business will also not suffer in this process.
Absolutely. So lots is going to change, and it is going to solve the credit gap issue that we have, especially in a country like India, where most of the businesses are small scale enterprises. So this new system is going to help MSMEs a lot, solve the credit gap analysis, create an environment of entrepreneurship within our community, and this whole policy will bring success for India.
And in case if you need more information or any guidance, you can reach out to us regarding this whole process, and we will guide you how to really be successful in the business.
All right, friends. So we will meet you on the other side in the Q&A section. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.